Hello and welcome to What Map, the map review show for Cities Skylines. There are tens of thousands of maps in the workshop now, and so finding the right one for your next build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review one, using our 5-star rating for aesthetics, detail and gameplay potential, awarding only the very best the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday's What Map. BonBon here, how you doing? Right, as usual, if you've been watching this week's shows, you can jump straight to 1 minute 15, you won't be missing anything spectacular. And if you haven't been watching it, we'll quickly look at the Christmas schedule for the channel for the next couple of weeks. Okay, this week it's regular What Maps, and then next week we're going to have a look at 6 of the best from 2017. On New Year's Eve we'll have a look at the new companion show for What Map, which will be launching on New Year's Day when all the regular schedules will return to normal. All of that is 9 AM apart from a couple of 6 PMs and 5 PM, that sort of thing. Right, what can we say? Today's map, the Galton River, is by TiggrrZ, TiggrrZ. And this one jumped off of the front page, and if a map jumps off the front page for me, then it's got to be worth checking whether it's any good or not. That's your start square. If it's good, then great, we've got a great map, and if it's not good, you've been warned in advance. There's your resources, all interesting, very interesting. I'm not quite sure what to make of that, but there you are. The Steam Workshop, what do you need? And the answer is nothing. It is completely vanilla. And I can't remember what, I think I used Clarity LUT because the map was a little bit dark, so there we are. Now interestingly, we've got the traffic running on the left hand side, so obviously I'm thinking this is somebody who lives either in the United Kingdom or somewhere in the Commonwealth, where we all drive on the correct side of the road, unlike 90% of the world who travel on the wrong side. Anyways, the roads, like I say, we've got 3-lane highways, which is a good choice for traffic flow. We've got a little bit glitching in the middle here, where we're on the slope and the two highways are a bit too close together. And that could have been done with a little bit of basic terraforming before laying down of the roads, but there we are. Oh, I do believe this is also TiggrrZ's first map, so I'm going to have to sort out a jingle for first map people, I reckon. Leave that one with me. I'll sort something out over Christmas probably. And here is your start square, and we're using the standard wishbone intersection here. Nothing wrong with the wishbone intersection, it's just not the sharpest intersection out there. There's water there, by the way. There we are. If we come down and have a look at this intersection, see one of the main problems with it is the down ramps are incredibly steep, ridiculously steep, and you'd think it was a computer game rather than real life and to be that steep. And also the heights of the roads are quite mammothly high. So you know, using the Move It mod can bring that down and tidy it up if you really want to stick with the wishbone. Now we'll roll on. Now, one thing I've got to say, one of my favourite things of the map is the rolling of the hills. They are very pleasant, very boldly rolling. It's not a gently undulating environment at all. These are big bugger hills, I'll tell you. Big bugger hills. And you've noticed already, haven't you? No, ignore the railway, right? No, just ignore it, okay? We're going to go straight to the roads. We'll do the rail in a second. Just ignore it. Stop it. The roads are, well, these bridges are poor, okay? They've not seen my bridge tutorial, my perfect bridges. I will link to this at the end of the video. If you've not seen it and you want to know how to do perfect bridges every time, there will be a link at the end of today's show. Just click through to that. It's 5 minutes long, and you will never build a bridge like this ever again. I promise. Absolutely promise you. It's simple. Absolutely simple, and you don't need any mods to do it. You can use mods, but you don't need them. Okay, right, now you've been told. You have been told. Slight glitch in the highway there, nothing major, just like a little kink there, little jinky janky in the highway. And then as we head off into the fog, the highways come closer together, and that's fine, there's no problem there. There is only one highway, by the way, that runs from one side of the map to the other, And the rail, there is only one rail, and it runs one side to the other also. Now, I will want to be the train driver that has to take the train over this. It looks like it's going to go at any minute, doesn't it? Good grief. I mean, at least fill your train drivers with confidence, because that is frightening. Absolutely scary. I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. Yeah, that's a little bit, could be smoothed out a lot, that. Not a little bit, a lot of it. And then we are rolling through the countryside. And like I say, I quite like the terrain in this map. When I say I like the terrain, I like the hills. There's lots about the terrain I don't like, and we will get to that when we look at the detailing later. We are currently just rolling parallel with the highways, and we're quite a way away from the highway as well, which will please some people that don't like the railway to be literally, yeah, holding the hands, rolling along the hard shoulder of the highway. Well, we're still going along and following the rail. It's not much to say here, to be honest with you. Now this is where we break away and head inland, because we don't match up with the highways. But it's one highway, one railway, which is 2 connections of each. And yes, you can mod extra connections in, but if you don't want to do that, especially as this is a vanilla map, this is a bit steep, by the way, for a train, a regular train. It's a bit ouch, that one. But like I say, I mean, quite like, I mean, in terms of the scenery, as just a rolling hills kind of map, I quite like it. Doesn't mean it's going to get a high score though, does it? Come on. You know me. You know me. I can build it up and then I can take it right back down again. Shall we get ready for an asset review? Well, today we're going to have 2. Look at this, right on the edge. So yeah, 2 asset reviews, but why BonBon? Well, the answer is because I fouled up yesterday. You remember Mr. Maison's Christmas tree yesterday? Well, that wasn't Mr. Maison's Christmas tree yesterday. I do believe that was probably the I'm going to call it vanilla, the vanilla one that comes with the Snowfall DLC. And this is the very beautiful Christmas tree by Mr. Maison. This is what we should have been looking at yesterday, not that green splodgy thing, which hardly shone at all. This pops. And I can't believe that I noticed. I mean, even the star's in 3 dimensions. Yesterday's star was in 2 dimensions. It's a very beautiful thing, that, and you must have it. Okay? But anyway, so that was yesterday's correct asset review. And today we'll have a look at, well, today's asset review. You ready? Here it comes. Now, today's asset review is the Christmas market by Titan. Now, there are 3 different stalls in the Christmas market, and for my sin, I've forgotten which 2 of the 3 we're looking at here. There's one at the back there, which is like a shopping area, and then some's got like mini carousel thing in the foreground, which actually I've used Move It to move it there, and it's I've cheated a little bit. That normally needs like a whole individual square to itself for zoning. But yes, why not cheat? These are very pretty. Titan is an absolute genius asset maker and has got a lot of really good stuff for Christmas, not just these 2 things. So that's Christmas Market by Titan, and that is today's asset of the day. Second one. Oh, dearie dear. I apologise, Mr. Maison. I do. Right, what have we got? Shipping routes. Well, you guessed it. There is 1 shipping route running left to right across the map. Not much to say there. Now, water flow. The water flow is pretty good. It rolls all the way down the hill, following the ziggy-zaggy of the river. And this river nips around here and through here, and then underneath those bridges, though only just, and then out to sea. And the question is there water motion in the sea? There does appear to be, and that is good news. Bye bye, Mr. Sewage. And there's a drain there, a sump, as I like to call them, a sewage sump. Very nice. Sucks all the yunk away there, all the yuck. Now that is your overview, and let's come and have a look at the river. Now, I said how lovely I like the terraforming. The river, I think it's an interesting shape. It starts narrow though, and then it gets wider. And well, these riverbanks are, well, they're not banks, it's a canyon all the way, and I don't get it. Okay, look how deep that canyon is. That's millions of years of erosion, when across there would have been probably a more natural path for the river to take as it's lower. So I'm a little confused. It doesn't feel like realistic terrain to me. But what do I know? And the answer is quite often not a lot. So anyway, yes, along here, if you want to do riverfront cottages and all that sort of stuff, it's all too high. I mean, even these banks here, where it's quite low, are actually too high, really. Around that edge, possibly, that's not too bad. But then we're going into canyon mode again here, and it's not even an attractive. Look how steep that is. That gives you an idea of how far down we are. And if we follow the canyon along, it doesn't get any better. So it's the Galton River, and it's lovely that we have a river, but there's nothing you can do with it apart from build from afar. And for me, that's not the point of a river. I mean, where you can actually draw your water from, you have to do terraforming to draw water from that. Okay, now the undulation. Now, the trees are all vanilla and they appear to have been tree brushed, but I'm actually liking the actual density and quantity of them. Okay, I think that's been done just about right. There don't appear to be any drowned trees, so it's just being care taken there, which is good. And like I say, the density and quantity, I feel are about right. Okay, it's a personal thing. All maps are personal things. And then over here we've got an island. Too big for a BonBonB island, so forget that one. It's a bit of a splodgy island. Once again, doesn't feel like it was naturally formed, this one. And got an interesting, well, a perfectly fine quantity of trees on here as well. I don't have any problems with that. The hills and the undulation is for me the winning part of this map. But beyond that, there's not really much to say. The river ain't great, is it? And the hills up here, the big hills, no, they're fine. They're fine. It's just the river's too deep. The river's too steep even. Oh, I don't know. Aesthetically, like I say, I like the hills. The hills work for me. Everything else, nah. I can't give this more than 2 stars, I'm afraid. For detailing, well, I like the hills. Everything else doesn't work for me. I can't give it more than 2 stars, I'm afraid. Gameplay potential, well, I like the hills. the river's flowing fine. Could do with an extra highway, could do with an extra railway, could do possibly an extra shipping route. It's no more than 2 stars for gameplay potential, I'm afraid. That Galton River by TiggrrZ, I'm afraid, is a bit of a disappointment, but I'm sure you'll do better with your 2nd and 3rd and 4th and millionth map. Anyway, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. You guys are the ones that keep my channel alive. Thank you so much. We're getting close to Christmas and I'm so looking forward to sharing with you my favourite 6 maps of the year. And that's next week, so hang on in there. Even Christmas Day. Yes, Christmas Day. Ho, ho, ho.